Hi, today we will be making homemade white bread, and the ingredients are dry yeast, 2 1/4 cup warm water, 3 tablespoons sugar, 1 tablespoon salt, 2 tablespoons canola oil, and 6 cups of flour, divided 3 here and the rest over here. So the first step is to, in a bowl, put the flour and the yeast. And I always add the sugar with the flour and the yeast because the yeast kind of like uses the sugar to grow, and it makes it go faster, and it lets it rise better, I think. And so you mix that, and then you let that set for about 5 minutes or so. So now that the yeast mixture has had a few minutes to set, we want to add the salt, the oil, and 3 cups of flour. And bring it over the mixer using the dough hook and beat it together. And you want to use the dough hook versus the wire hook, because if you use the wire hook, then it will get stuck within the wires, which will then be a pain to clean. So once the 3 cups of flour and everything else is incorporated, it will look something like this. And so what I do is 1/4 cup at a time, I beat in the extra flour until it reaches a more solid consistency and will stick to the dough hook. Now once the bread has reached the more, sticky kind of consistency, less liquidy, you want to have a floured surface, and then just scoop it out onto the surface. So once it's now on the surface, you want to add more flour on top of it. Keep your hands from sticking. I always flour my hands a bit. And then you're going to knead it, which means that you're going to gotta get more flour on the surface. If the bread ever starts sticking to the surface, add more flour. It'll stop that. Which means that you pick it up on one side, push it down, and then you grab it and you turn a bit, pick it up, fold it in half, push it down. Still have dough on my hands. So and you want to do this for about 8 to 10 minutes. And what this does is it folds it over, and it gets, pushes some of the air out, gets some air in, really keeps it together, mixes the ingredients a bit more, yeah. And it also, lengthens the strands of gluten in it, which is also kind of like if you've ever made pasta. It's very similar to that, where, if it's not the right consistency, then it just won't turn out right. If you're making gluten-free pasta, I don't know if you need it or not. I have no idea, but it's the main purpose of doing this. So you want to get a nice elastic, which means that when you push down on it, it'll kind of go right back up. Since this is just a white bread, I'm going to probably need it a little bit longer than I've done so far. And I mean, if you don't like kneading bread, you know, some people don't. Some people say it hurts their arm. They have no-knead breads that you can make, or quick breads, or I guess you could be one of those people who buys bread at the store. Ugh. What? I buy bread at the store too. But it's feeling good. So once you get it at this kind of consistency where you push it down and it kind of comes back up a bit, it's good. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a bowl, some nonstick spray, spray the bowl. You want to get it really good because it will make later a lot easier. You're going to put the bread in the bowl. You're going to take a cloth or a paper towel or whatever you want, get it covered with warm water. You're going to drape it over the bowl, and you're going to let the dough double in size. So it's anywhere from half an hour to an hour and a half. Really depends on the bread. This one says an hour and a half, so I'm going to assume it's at least an hour. So now that your dough has doubled in size, what you're going to do is you're going to punch it down, and what that will do is that will kind of let out some of the excess air. So I just push my hand into it. And then you're going to turn it over into, I already greased this area. So it's a greased surface. What you want to do, or a floured surface. Then what you want to do is you want to cut it in half, or what you think is about half. Let's say about there. Just pull it apart. And then you're going to want to shape it. So I always hate shaping it. So what I do is I just kind of, almost like I'm tucking it in. But you want to make it more rectangular so it can fit into whatever bread pan you're using. So once you have it about the size you want it, and you do 2 loaves, and that's why you cut it in half. If you do one giant loaf, it won't cook through and it will turn out bad. So you want to spray out your loaf pan, and then just take your loaf, place it in, and then you want to take that same towel or cloth that you were using earlier, wet it again, put that over it, and give it another half an hour, 45 minutes, so it rises and doubles again. So now that the cake, or the bread, has doubled in size again, you're going to put it into a 375 degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes. And if you have a gas oven, you want to turn it around halfway through. So now that your bread is out of the oven, they tell you to let it cool. I never really do. It's a waste of time. So now it's nice and cooked. So what I do is I take a knife, or take a little spatula or a spreader or something, and you just go around the edges. And once you get all the way around all of the edges, you can put your hand here with an oven mitt, or you can put a plate there, and you turn it over, and then you just pick up the loaf pan, and you turn it over, and then it's ready to eat.